At number 47 on the iconic 100 list is the 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson rookie card, one of the most recognized baseball rookie cards from the 1980s. And here to talk with us today about this card is Ryan from Brooklyn Vintage Cards on Instagram. Ryan, this card came in again at number 47. Tell me what you think when you think that the Rickey Henderson's the number 47 most iconic card of all time.
So iconicness drives from the image on the card, the set, the historical context of it, but also the player, right? And Rickey Henderson was the stolen base king, without question. I mean, that's why we all remember him. I think he played into his 40s maybe. Yeah. And you've got this card in 1980, his beautiful Oakland A's uniform, yellow and green and white, and he's there sort of hunched over, and he's about to steal a base. And this is his rookie card. And he was going to then do that for the next 20, 30 years. And he did it. The best that it's ever been done. And we've got this awesome image of him in a Topps set. 1980 was a pretty cool year for Topps. Some great players in there, but Rickey was clearly the rookie. And this one, I think, is the image that makes it that iconic. He's literally about to steal a base, and he's going to do that same thing for decades. It's also really rare in high grades. And this was one of the first cards, I think, that we saw sell like as a PSA 10 in the many thousands of dollars, probably when we were all a decade ago or a decade and a half ago. This is what some of the early big PSA 10 collectors put a big price tag on, because this one's super hard to find in a PSA 10.
To just piggyback on that a little bit, I think you're right that this is one of those cards that in lower grades isn't that expensive, but in high grades, in a 10, it's still really an event when this sells. You'll see an auction house listed in a 10, and you'll see people sort of chat about it because it's such a low pop card. And to me, that's one of the things that can really make a card iconic, really give it that quality, is when it's something that can sell for an extremely high value out of a pack that was less than 50 cents back then, or
sure.
And then still today it can also be a card that's not worth very much at all.
I mean, this is the 1980 Topps set. Look, it's probably becoming more rare over time. I mean, it's tough to find an unsearched box of them for sure. But Rickey Henderson, the player, had such a long career that he's beloved in a lot of towns. And most guys you remember for like one team that they played on. But Rickey Henderson, the images that come up sort of span several teams, including the Yankees. Once you bring in that Yankees collector set, you've just upped a guy's price, a certain multiple. And so he's got that. He's got all the other career achievements that he did. And then we all remember when he's standing there holding up the base, when he broke the record. And this card just previews all of it in a really cool way. Couple that with the rarity and the collector interest. Top 50 card for sure.
When I think about this card, I just share one quick personal story that's kind of a funny one. I came home from work. It's been about a year ago now, and my son came up to me and said, "Hey, Dad, I was out with some friends today, and I traded for this. Let me show you what I got." Your jaw's gonna drop when I tell you this. He shows me a PSA 8 Rickey Henderson rookie card.
Not bad.
I was like, my eyes got real big, and I went, "What happened? How did this happen?" And he said, "Well, I had a Donovan Mitchell card that a kid really wanted, and he went inside and he got this out of his dad's collection, and he brought it out and he traded it to me." And I said, "Great, we got to give it back." And so we went back to the house. We said, "Hey, this is what happened here." And they were like, "Oh, well, that's, there were some lessons that were learned on all parts that day." But even here we are, 40 years after this card was produced, and kids still know about this card. We knew about this card. I know you and I did when we were kids. And
yeah, I mean,
here it is, still recognizable all these years later.
These images get printed in the collector's conscious, and they become, something of the hobby. And this card is definitely, that's icon, right? 100 icons. This card's an icon.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks again for Ryan for going over card number 47 with us on the iconic 100 list, the 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson rookie card. Tomorrow we'll be back with the next card with another guest. And until then, happy collecting.